be my pleasure to introduce the honored guests here on the platform with me. To my extreme right, the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Dan Wirtz. Mr. Bruce Hunting, President of the Board. Mrs. Barbara Hanson, Secretary. Mrs. Beverly Austin, Trustee. Mr. Ronald Stika, Parliamentarian. And Mr. William Rawls, Trustee. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the custodians who so valiantly battled the weather elements this morning. At 8 o'clock, the field had been set up, all kinds of trucks and manpower to move everything out there, and at 10 o'clock we had to come back in. I sincerely appreciate their efforts. It was quite a Herculean task. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. This is a class which has many scholars, but amongst all of the scholars, there are two who have particularly distinguished themselves, and I would like to introduce them at this time. This is a very difficult school academically, as many of you know, and these two young women were able to attain straight A's during their 4 years at Okemos High School. Darcy Pryor is the first co-valedictorian. Darcy? Diane Johnson is the co-valedictorian. We've assembled 4 fine speakers for you to hear today, and I would like to begin the introductions of them at this time. Welcome, please, with me, speaker number 1, David Glickman.
Dr. Wirtz, Dr. Carew, members of the school board, friends, family, and my fellow classmates, good afternoon. You know, most of the commencement cliches we hear this time of year don't really fit our class. For some classes, it takes years for an identity to be established, but not for the Okemos class of 1991. For us, our identity was formed soon after we joined in the middle school from our respective elementary schools. But 4 years from now, there will be nobody left here to remember the myths or the characters of our class, except perhaps a younger sibling or a teacher that is not yet retired. We will be faces who are void of personality, with goofy haircuts and funny clothes on the pages of old yearbooks, or on the team photos in the gym, or on the cast collages in the drama room. But now we have the opportunity to make a just one performing arts, and we have very successful athletic teams, as proven by this weekend. By working on a close, personal, local level, like we have done here at OHS, we can change the world in an evolutionary and not a revolutionary fashion. When we leave here today and spread ourselves across the globe, let us try to make the individual communities that we live in a better place. We can do this by keeping supplies in the schools, by keeping books in the libraries, by keeping arts in the communities, refuse recycled, and making our communities places where free thought and free expression is encouraged and not thwarted. By working together from a grassroots level, we, the class of '91, will eventually shake the world. I foresee us as the great community leaders, the local artists, and the teachers, and the parents, who will work together to change our world easily as much as the Nobel Prize winners that will come out of the OHS class of 1991.
Our second speaker this afternoon, Dustin House. Dustin.
Good afternoon, Dr. Wirtz, members of the school board, Dr. Carew, family, and friends. This poem is for us, the class of 1991. Appreciation. Found so little and rarely in time. When I was 10, I did not appreciate death was mine. I found my father when I opened the door. The door hit his back, and he was dead on the floor. Trauma and terror and heartache and pain. He never smoked a dope or lived his life in vain. Perfect health, sense of self, and a great father. His heart eroded and exploded, and he became my personal martyr. Before his death, passed my grandfather, his dad. For that, on this earth, not a single soul was glad. In the same year, came Tears for a Funny Man.